Tariffs are just taxes on imports. That's what we were told. A simple economic tool, a policy adjustment, a line in a trade spreadsheet. But what if that's no longer true? What if tariffs today are not about trade at all? What if they're about power? Because in 2026, global trade isn't neutral anymore. It's strategic, and strategy means leverage. For decades, globalization followed one rule: lower barriers, cheaper goods, more integration. Countries specialized, supply chains stretched across continents, efficiency became the priority. Then, tensions rose between the United States and China, and tariffs came back. Not symbolic tariffs, strategic tariffs, on semiconductors, on electric vehicles, on critical minerals, on advanced manufacturing. These are not random products, they are the industries that shape the future. So this isn't just trade policy anymore. This is industrial competition.
Here's what most people miss. Tariffs don't just affect one country, they affect systems. When tariffs rise, companies must recalculate everything: where to produce, where to ship, which suppliers to trust. And when access to the American market is at stake, the decision becomes simple: adapt or lose scale. That's not just economics, that's leverage. And leverage changes behavior. But tariffs are only the surface layer. The deeper instrument is financial. When the US sanctions a country, the impact goes beyond its borders, because the global financial system still runs largely on the dollar. If you trade with a sanctioned country, you risk losing access to US banks. You risk losing dollar clearing. You risk losing access to the world's largest consumer market. No military force, no direct confrontation, just a choice: them or access to the system. Most choose the system.
So what do we call this? Protection? Strategy? Or economic coercion? The answer depends on where you stand.
In academic terms, economic coercion means using economic tools to influence another state's behavior. Not tanks, not missiles, but pressure, structured pressure. Tariffs can do it, financial restrictions can do it, access denial can do it. And when your currency anchors global trade, that pressure multiplies, because influence built into infrastructure is quieter, but stronger.
Even trade agreements reflect this evolution. Modern agreements are no longer just about lowering tariffs. They include clauses tied to market structure, strategic alignment, future partnerships. Trade now carries geopolitical weight. Who you sign with matters, who you align with matters, because economics and security are no longer separate conversations. They're merging.
And when pressure expands, countries respond. Some explore alternative settlement systems. Some increase regional cooperation. Some diversify trade partners, not necessarily to confront, but to reduce vulnerability, because dependence becomes risk, and risk demands adjustment. The more economic power is used strategically, the more others try to rebalance.
This is where the real question begins. If supply chains reorganize around security, if trade clusters around alliances, if financial systems begin to fragment, efficiency declines, costs rise, duplication increases. Globalization doesn't disappear, but it reorganizes, not around efficiency, around power centers.
And inside countries, tariffs carry political weight. They signal strength. They promise protection. They frame economic rivalry a la national defense. Trade policy becomes identity, becomes sovereignty, becomes messaging. And once trade becomes political, it rarely returns to neutral.
So where does this lead? Maybe controlled competition. Maybe long-term strategic rivalry. Maybe a world divided into economic blocs. The real question isn't whether tariffs are good or bad. The real question is this: how much strategic pressure can the global system absorb before it fundamentally changes? Because tariffs used to shape prices, now they shape alliances. And when trade becomes strategic, every percentage point carries a message. The era of neutral globalization is over. The era of strategic trade has begun.